bottom half manages up, and the top half manages down. Part 6. The content for this podcast comes from my book, Advanced Success Secrets. You get a free copy of each of my 8 bestsellers at alexhammerbooks.com. That's AlexHammerbooks.com. And not surprisingly, part 6 picks up where part 5 left off. Those who make a lot of enemies through the misuse of power are, for example, live by the sword, die by the sword, being a famous metaphorical saying, likely to have this catch up with them over some period of time. Life may not be completely fair, although some think it is if you look at it cosmically beyond our human understanding, but it is certainly not completely unfair either. There are rules and principles in society, the world and the universe, which govern money, power, and other things. So back to managing down. As money and success is an expression of value, those who manage down by creating value will be more successful and or make more money. The coach who can win a high school football state championship will make a certain amount of money, but the coach who can win an NCAA Division I national championship in the same sport will certainly make quite a bit more. An assistant manager of a McDonald's, when entrusted to manage 10 people, can make a certain amount of money, but the top assistant to the President of the United States, namely the Vice President, would not only make significantly more, and government salaries are lower than respective responsibilities in other disciplines, and have, of course, much greater impact to boot, although perhaps this is not the best example, as some claim that the office of Vice President, famously enough, can have little to no impact. While one form of magical thinking can limit the success of those in the bottom half, another type of magical thinking can limit those in the top half. Specifically, one limiting form of magical thinking by those in the upper half professions is over-identification with their roles. Teachers, which I think is one of the noblest professions in the world, who overstep their bounds and not putting your heart into things can instead be a different problem, such that they burn themselves out, don't respect the parents or students. Some parents and students are challenging, etc., is one example. Policemen who think that they are powerful because they carry a gun is another. And any employee, regardless of profession, who goes through major anguish or trauma when they are laid off or lose a job because they believe that the job defines who they are. A job may be part of who we are, but the most successful individuals know and realize that we have a core and deeper identity of who we are beyond what we do. Just as children may think that their parents are stupid, well beyond any objective measure, let's say, some parents, of course, do make serious mistakes, and some employees may think that their bosses are stupid. I'm not saying that they are or they aren't, but the first pertinent question to ask may well be, why is this individual still the boss? The shoe could be on the other foot as well. Parents may not recognize the strengths or intelligence of their children. Bosses may not recognize the skills or potential of their employees. Successful people get the best out of others. Successful employees get the best out of their bosses and other employees, and successful bosses get the best out of their employees and other bosses. It's been said that every boss has another boss. You may be the boss at work over 10,000 employees, but when you get in your car, the police officer can still pull you over for perceived or actual offense. Your kids still may or may not listen to you. Your wife still or may not love you. Or to be equal, if the boss is a woman, your husband. What I'm trying to say is that even though the bottom half manages up and the top half manages down, and there are differences between the two, we're all in the human soup together. We all have some similar experiences, along with others which may be different, and we can all certainly learn something from each other.